I decided to pop in today to talk to you about being open about stuttering and how important is it to be open about your stuttering. Well, there are different ways of looking at this. First of all, I think that there is one really big positive that stands out in my mind, and that is that if you can be open about your stuttering, you're breaking down barriers in communication with other people. It's almost as if you don't talk about it, if you're not open about it, you are putting an elephant in the room, so to speak. And so people don't know exactly how to react to you if you're stuttering severely. If you're stuttering mildly, then it might not be so much an issue in this regard, but there are others. So if you do stutter severely, you might just say, well, this is just the way I speak and this is how I stutter. And once you bring that out, people will react to it also in a more nonchalant way, and they will just listen to you, and that's what's important. If it isn't such an issue with your speaking and it doesn't really interfere with your communication, and there's many kinds of stuttering that don't interfere with communication, that is, a person can understand everything you want to say, so there are stops and starts and maybe repetitions or prolongations or whatnot. But the conversation flows. In this case, it is still important to be open about stuttering because it will keep you from awfulizing it. And it's really important not to make it an awful thing in your head. And of course, how awful it is to you depends on you, on the way you look at it. Do I see my stuttering as being something terrible, something to be embarrassed about, something to be ashamed of? Or is this just the outcome of the way I produce speech? And if it is, if you see it that way, is just the outcome of the way you produce speech, then you won't be awfulizing it. And why is awfulizing it so problematic? Well, you know that I believe, not just believe, but see, have proof of the whole works, that stuttering is over control. When you're speaking and over controlling what you say, you will stutter more. When you're scanning, looking ahead, looking back, you know, all those things. So when you awfulize stuttering, you try not to stutter. We said before, and I've said this before, that it's kind of an instinct not to want to stutter. I mean, it's like, you know, if you trip a little bit, you try to write yourself up. If you can't say something, you want to say it. But the more you awfulize it, the more you will try to preempt and look ahead and think about stuttering and can I speak fluently? Am I going to stutter? So the worse you think it is, the more you will try to control it. And that is where a big problem lies. So, do I think voluntary stuttering is important? Personally, no, because I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it really is the way to go, because it still keeps your mind in, I have a problem, I stutter, I have to stutter, I'm going to stutter, or I have to show that I stutter. But that's a little bit of another form of control, much less noxious than trying not to stutter. That's for sure. So it can help some people not to awfulize. And in that sense, it is good. But I think a better way is just being nonchalant about it. You don't have to go into a heartfelt how I feel about my stuttering conversation with everybody you meet, but just mentioning it sometimes, especially if you're giving a presentation or giving a speech or going for a job and interview. If you don't see it as something terrible, other people won't see it as something terrible either. And the best thing is that if you don't try not to stutter, that's a lot of negatives, huh? Let's say you speak, just speak, and your goal isn't to control your stuttering. Then you will be more present, and if you do want to learn a process of speaking naturally, you'll be open to it. You'll be able to focus on making some changes that make it easier for you to speak. And then you won't be so afraid, well, what's going to happen? That takes your thoughts. So, if you want to learn more about speaking naturally and what it's all about, I finally have a date. My mini course in the 10 surprises you need to know about stuttering is going to be available on April 30th. So be sure and register. The link is here. You can register for it. And I hope to see you there. Just click. It's a course you're not going to want to miss if you stutter, or if you know somebody who stutters, or treat somebody who stutters. 10 surprises you need to know about stuttering. This is a must. It's a perspective you don't want to miss. So sign up. See you there.